Station number 10, Jesus' death and burial. He was despised and rejected by mankind. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering. Yet we considered him punished by God, stricken by him, and afflicted. Isaiah chapter 53, verses 3 through 4. From the 6th hour to the 9th hour, darkness fell all over the land. At the 9th hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, saying, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Those standing next to the cross thought that he was calling on Elijah to save him, and they offered wine vinegar for him to drink. Then they said, "Let's see if Elijah comes to save him." Jesus cried out one last time, and then willingly gave up his spirit. At that moment, the curtain in the temple was torn in two from the top to the bottom. This signified that through Jesus' death, the way to God was opened. We no longer needed a priest or mediator to intercede for us. We could go directly to God now. Just then, the earth shook violently and the rocks split open. The tombs broke apart and several dead were raised to life. Those guarding Jesus had seen all that was happening and they were terrified. They shouted, "Surely he was who he said he was, the Son of God." As evening approached, Joseph, a follower of Jesus, asked Pilate for Jesus' body. He took it, wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and placed it in a new tomb he had cut out of the rock. He rolled a big stone in front of the entrance and went away in mourning. The next day, at the urging of the chief priests and Pharisees, Pilate ordered that the tomb was to be sealed and made secure, and that a guard would be posted outside of the tomb. He did this as they wanted, to make sure that Jesus' followers did not steal his body and claim he had risen from the dead, as he had told everyone that he would. When Jesus died that day, so many people watching must have thought that now their hope had died as well. Jesus was supposed to be their glorious king, sent to free them from the Romans' rule. The disciples were mourning the loss of a teacher who had been with them for several years and had taught them many things. They did not expect it to end like this. This couldn't be real for all of them. But it was. All of creation mourned that day. Death had won. It was final. The end. Jesus had died, was taken down from the cross, and now had been buried in a sealed and guarded tomb. For them, there was nothing more to hope for. Put yourself now in their place. Can you sense the heaviness of people's crushed hopes and dreams? Can you feel the pain they must have felt when that tomb was sealed with Jesus' lifeless body inside? Allow yourself to grieve their loss with them. What they experienced was real. It was painful. This was not the ending they were promised. Where was their Savior? What were they to do now? Where were they to go from here? If not Jesus, who would lead them? Who would deliver them from their oppression under Caesar? Use this reflection time to consider how those left behind felt at the finality of Jesus' death and burial. Ask yourself now these questions. Just like Jesus' loved ones and friends after his death, are there any promises that you were given by God that have been left unfulfilled? Are there things in your life happening now that you are questioning where God is in all of it? Maybe it doesn't feel like he's there. Or maybe he promised something would happen and you don't see how it will ever come to be. End this station by taking time to take your disappointments to God and ask him for faith to believe that his promises will be fulfilled, even when we don't see how. Once you have taken time to speak with God in these matters, move on to the final station.